finished up a workout, and before I get into the question video that we have today, I wanted to sort of touch on something. A lot of you guys send me messages or made comments on the YouTube channel saying, cool green screen, like that's a nice green screen. I wanted to sort of bring this up. I've already done this once, but again, this is not a green screen. Those are my actual mats. What you guys see is the glare, that's coming from the light that's reflecting off the windows. So it's not a green screen. And with that said, let's get started with the video. So today we got a question from John about using illegal submissions in his gym. So he says, by the way, legal submissions means like illegal in competition. So in his gym right now, he's using a couple of techniques that are illegal in competition, but they're working great for him. And he says he's getting a lot of submissions from them. But his worry is that he's going to put too much stake in these submissions and it might be a bad idea. And so he's wondering what my sort of training philosophy on this is. Should he continue to play around with the techniques that are illegal? Or should he maybe sort of steer clear of them and kind of let them go? And so he's wondering what my thoughts on it are. So John, thanks for the question, brother. And I would say it like this, getting into it, make sure your coach is cool with them. Because again, some gyms have restrictions on the submissions. Some gyms don't. You just got to make sure you know what's going on and make sure that you're kind of, following the rules of your gym. But assuming that your coach is cool with you using the technique, I would definitely learn it. Because, this is just my idea on jiu-jitsu anyway. You want to try to learn as much as you can. Even if you don't see the utility in it right now, you want to try to learn as much as you can, because what that does is it gives you just more ingredients. Because the way that I look at it as you as a grappler, you're kind of making your own stew, right? You're basically stealing stuff from, I don't say modeling maybe, modeling after other jiu-jitsu practitioners, your coach, maybe me, whatever, and then you're taking all this stuff and you're basically making your own little jiu-jitsu stew, and you stir it up and you sort of test it out. And the more ingredients you have to add to that, the better. And with an illegal submission, maybe you don't see the utility in it, but maybe it teaches you something about a particular movement or a choke or whatever that then you're able to use with a submission or something that is legal, right? And just so, as an aside, I wouldn't want to be in a situation where I could have learned how to stop a submission, but then I go to train at a gym and this guy's hitting me with this, illegal move, and I could have learned how to stop it by training it, but I didn't because I said it was illegal in competition and they're just killing me with it. I wouldn't want that to happen. I'd rather have an answer for it. So I would definitely say learn it. Now, here's the thing to think about. I wouldn't, if you were asking me what my opinion is, I wouldn't make my game centered around that submission. I would not make that move. I would not make that the center of my game, the core of my game. Because then if you go compete, well then your game's gone. Or if you're in a situation where maybe you go to another gym and you train and they're like, oh, that's illegal here. Oh, okay. Well, then you can't use it. So I would steep my game primarily in the fundamentals. And this is just me personally. This is kind of my philosophy on jiu-jitsu, period. I don't want my game to be dependent upon anything that's kind of circumstantial, meaning let's say if it's a gi. Okay, I don't want to be dependent upon a lapel or a gi grip. A lot of people play lots of lapel guards, and I like to play with the lapel guards. I play them. I have a lot of guys that use them really well. I teach them. I just don't use them, as my core of my game, because I do a lot of no-gi, and I don't want my game to be gone when I go to no-gi. Likewise, I've met guys that were, solely dependent upon their ability to do no-gi style techniques, or even I've met guys that were so used to just being able to slip and slide out of stuff that as soon as you put the fabric of the gi on their game started to not work as well. And so again, maybe you're a gi specific or no gi specific person, and that's fine. But if you're asking me as someone who wants to basically translate their jiu-jitsu into as many areas as possible, whether it be an MMA fight, a fight in the street, no gi, whatever, I want to be able to translate my jiu-jitsu to any situation. I don't want my game to be dependent upon a thing that then may not be able to be used in certain situations. Does it make sense? So what I would say is, brother, learn the technique, play around with it, just experiment. Just see what's possible, because the more you know what's possible, the more you'll have to work with as far as your own game. But with that said, I wouldn't make your game dependent upon just that one technique that then if it doesn't work, your whole game's just, gone, and then, that sort of thing. So I hope that makes sense. So brother, thank you so much for the question. And guys, I'll talk to you next time.